بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our reflections on sermon 87 or 86 of Nahj al-Balaghah. We are towards the end of the first part, which describes characteristics of awliyaullah, friends of God, true ulama. One of their characteristics is that they have very close relation with the Quran. Quran is the book of guidance, and these people have taken really the Quran as manual for their life. Quran is their guide, it's their leader. قد أمكن الكتاب من زمامه فهو قائده وإمامه. This person has made the Quran the leader, has taken his lead to the Quran. Means Quran can give the direction to him. Zemam means the lead. For example, for horse, if you have control over zemam, over the lead and the rope which is connected to a piece of iron or steel in the mouth of the horse, then it can easily be directed to different places, directions. So these people have made Quran in charge. They have given the Quran the lead. Quran is their leader. Wherever the Quran comes down to have a kind of a station, to have a kind of manzil, they come down. Imagine if you are traveling in a group. After several hours of traveling, I'm talking about when they had this concept of traveling with the camels and animals and carrying their things on the back of animals. So for several hours they had to travel. Then maybe in the afternoon, in the evening, they reach a station, manzil. Manzil means the place of nuzul, because they had to come down from back of the camel and bring things down. So this was called manzil, a station. So if we are in a group, wherever the leader decides to a station, everyone should follow. So these people put down their weight, their luggage, everything down where the Quran is showing them, and stay where the Quran shows them that they should stay. So they are fully and completely following the instructions of the Quran. But we have then the opposite group. وآخر قد تسمى عالما وليس به. We have also a group of false ulama. They may be called alim, but they are not alim. Maybe they have not even studied. They pretend that they have studied. But sometimes maybe they have also studied. It would be terrible if they have not even studied and they claim that they can, lead people. But even if they have studied, but to study and to get degrees and certificates when it comes to religious sciences is not showing anything. What is important is how much they have implemented their knowledge, how much they have acted upon their knowledge. Amir al-Mu'minin says, رُبَّ عَالِمٍ قَتَلَهُ جَهْلُهُ وَعِلْمُهُ مَعَهُ لَا يَنْفَعُهُ. There are many learned people that are destroyed by their own jahl. Jahl doesn't mean not to know, it means not to act wisely. علمه معه, he has his knowledge, but لا ينفعه, does not benefit him. So this part is the part in which Amir al-Mu'minin describes the people who are false alim. فَاقْتَبَسَ جَهَائِلَ مِنْ جُهَّالٍ وَأَضَالِيلَ مِنْ ظُلَّالٍ. A true alim is connected to the sources of knowledge and wisdom and light. If they are ma'soom, they are directly taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they are not ma'soom, they learn from godly scholars. They learn true knowledge from true ulama, true teachers. These people, they take ignorance of the ignorant people, misguidance of misguided people. They look around who says something nice, something that can attract people, attract the youths, from this person, that person, even if they are not from our religion or our community, or they don't believe in God, it doesn't matter. It has to be something attractive, something that brings the youths, brings the people who are not very serious in their faith, people who are looking for ways out, loopholes. So he takes from here and there their misguidance and presents to the people who are looking for such kind of people who can give them easily exemptions. They can remove the burden of taklif. They can say you can do whatever you like, just do a little of this, for example, thing, the rest then will be okay. So فَاقْتَبَسَ جَهَائِلَ مِنْ جُحَّالٍ وَأَضَالِيلَ مِنْ ظُلَّالٍ. Juhal is plural form for jahil, dhullal for dhal. So they take jahl, ignorance, from people who are ignorant. They take misguidance from those who are misguided. وَنَسَبَ لِلنَّاسِ أَشْرَاكًا. These people who are sometimes very eloquent, they have very good talents and skills to engage the audience, very good presentation. Quran says about munafiqeen that when they speak, you are surprised. Ta'ajab. You become very happy and surprised with what they say. But there is no depth, there is no content, there is no truth. So, نَسَبَ لِلنَّاسِ أَشْرَاكًا مِنْ حَبَائِلِ غُرُورٍ وَقَوْلِ زُورٍ. He has set up for people ropes like traps of deception and words of misguidance. So he has prepared, he has a policy how to attract people and bring towards himself and his own ideas. It's also normally a gradual process. In the first day, they don't tell you everything. When they attract you, then they say a little more. When you are attracted, a little more. They say their main words when you are already trapped. You have already taken position, you have already lost your friends. So then you have to continue with them, unless you are really a person who is happy to do sacrifice. So, نَسَبَ لِلنَّاسِ أَشْرَاكًا مِنْ حَبَائِلِ غُرُورٍ وَقَوْلِ زُورٍ. Has set up from the ropes of deception and words of misguidance, some traps and some ropes to take people. In particular, their position with respect to the Quran has to be seriously examined. True ulama, we said they take Quran as their leader, as their guide, they follow the instructions of the Quran. False ulama, they refer to the Quran, they quote Quran, maybe they even quote more. But the thing is that they misuse Quran. They first impose their own ideas upon the Quran, then they keep mentioning Quran. But it's not that Quran is their leader, their guide. قَدْ حَمَلَ الْكِتَابَ عَلَىٰ آرَائِهِ. He has pushed the book towards his own opinions, meaning imposed his opinions and tafsir on the book. وَعَتَفَ الْحَقِّ عَلَىٰ أَهْوَائِهِ. Instead of following haqq, he has turned the haqq towards his own whims and lower desires. Basically what he wants, what people who support him, what people who love him, what people who give him money want, they interpret everything in the way that suits them and satisfies them. And a common policy that they have is يُؤْمِنُ النَّاسِ مِنَ الْعَظَائِمِ. Makes people feel safe with respect to major sins. No worry, Allah is Rahim, Allah is Arhamur Rahimin. There is no punishment. He forgives everyone. So make them feel safe with respect to azaim, major sins, great sins. But you have no kabir al-jara'im, makes big crimes look very simple and trivial. He says, I am very careful about shubahat, the things which are dubious. يَقُولُ أَقِفُ عِنْدَ الشُّبَهَاتِ. Whenever I am faced with shubahat, I just stop and suspend any judgment, any action. I try to be very precautious. This is what they say. يَقُولُ أَقِفُ عِنْدَ الشُّبَهَاتِ. But the reality is وَفِيهَا وَقَعَ. The reality is that he has dropped himself and fallen into shubahat. Or يقول أعتذل البدع. He says, I am leaving aside heresies. I don't want to have anything to do with heresies. But again, the reality is وَبَيْنَهَا ازْتَجَعَ. He is staying inside bid'ah, heresies. He's staying there is like someone who is in bed, surrounded by walls of a certain room. فَالسُّورَةُ سُورَةُ إِنسَانٍ وَالْقَلْبُ قَلْبُ حَيْوَانٍ. Their form, their shape is like a human being. But their heart is the heart of an animal. لا يعرف باب الهدى فيتبعه ولا باب العمى فيصد عنه. He doesn't know the gate of guidance so that he follows. You remember we said muttaqeen, true ulama, they have even become mafatihu abwab al-huda. They become keys of the gates of guidance. These people even don't know where is gate of guidance. لا يعرف باب الهدى فيتبع, so that they follow. We said those people have no blindness, but these people don't know how to close the gate of blindness. They are already inside, they don't know how to come out and close the door. وَذَلِكَ مَيَّةُ الْأَحْيَاءِ. These are the dead people among the living. Because al-ilmu hayatun, knowledge is the life of the soul. When you don't have true knowledge, you are dead. Your soul is dead. Maybe physically you are alive, so you are among ahya, among people who have physical life. They are breathing, they are walking. But it's mayyatul ahya. Ulama ahya even if they physically die. Yeah? Al-ulama'u baghun, as we have in hadith. Ulama remain. So, ulama are ahya even if they die. But these people are dead even if physically they are alive. وَلَا بَابَ الْعَمَى فَيَصُدَّ عَنْهُ وَذَلِكَ مَيِّتُ الْأَحْيَاءِ. Then Amir al-Mu'minin talks about Itratun Nabi. The third section is about Itratun Nabi. But before we go to that part, I would like to read for you some hadith about necessity of acting according to knowledge, following knowledge, not imposing our opinions on the Quran. For example, Abdullah ibn Hajjaj, who was a student of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, one day asked Imam for advice. Imam said, إِيَّاكَ وَخَصْلَتَيْنِ فَفِيهِمَا هَلَكَ مَنْ هَلَكَ. I advise you to avoid two traits of character. Many people have been destroyed because of not observing these two. Number one, إِيَّاكَ أَن تُفْتِيَ النَّاسِ بِرَأْيِكَ. Never give fatwa according to your opinion to people. If you are not qualified, if you are not able to find out hukm of Allah, don't give fatwa. إِيَّاكَ أَن تُفْتِيَ النَّاسَ بِرَأْيِكَ. Also, أَوْ تَدِينَ بِمَا لَا تَعْلَمُ. To practice, to have your religiosity, you follow your religion according to what you don't know, based on superstitious ideas or ignorance. One of ulama says, once I asked the late Ayatollah al-Uzma Gulpaigani, who had studied and taught tens of years, I have asked him a fiqh question. He said, I don't know. Because even marja may not know everything as soon as you ask them question. Mujtahid is the one that, after referring to the sources, gives you the answer. Not he has to memorize everything. Allama Tabatabai, many times after he was asked question, he was saying, I don't know. After some while, he was saying, maybe this is the answer. And his students say he was giving very good answers, very good point. But first he was saying, I don't know. These people don't have fear of saying, I don't know. Therefore, if they are sure and they see there is maslahah, there is no other problem, they may share their opinion. Otherwise, they say, I don't know, or refer to so and so. In Hadith Unwan Basri, also we have this point that Imam Sadiq told him that Wahrub min al-futya harabaka min al-asad. In the same way that you run away from a lion, run away from giving fatwa. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam in Nahj al-Balaghah, Sermon 17 has something similar with what we had here. He says, إِلَى اللَّهِ أَشْكُو مِن مَعْشَرٍ يَعِيشُونَ جُهَّالًا وَيَمُوتُونَ ظُلَّالًا. I take my complaint to Allah from people that they live as ignorant people. They die as misguided people. when Quran is properly read and interpreted, they don't have interest in the Quran. For them, Quran is the lowest thing when it is interpreted properly. But when Quran is distorted, the kitab is distorted, it becomes the best good for them, the best sal'ah, the best good for them. With respect to tafsir bil-ra'i, we have many hadiths warning about tafsir bil-ra'i, interpreting the Quran according to your own opinion, according to your own wishes, etc. There is hadith Qudsi that Rasulullah quoted, قال الله جل جلاله, Allah the Almighty said, ما آمن بي من فسر برأيه كلامي. The one who interprets my speech, my words, according to his own opinion, has not believed in me. He's not a mu'min. Also we have hadith, من قال في القرآن بغير ما علمه. Whoever says something about the Quran without what he knows. So he doesn't have knowledge, but he still says Quran says this, Quran says that. جاء يوم القيامة ملجما باللجام من النار. On the day of judgment he will be brought while there is a lejam, there is something that is from fire and holds his mouth. So at the same time that we should encourage people to read the Quran and reflect on the Quran and use Quran as a reminder, we should also tell people they should not undertake interpreting the Quran by themselves. As a reminder, meaning that there is something you already know, it's obvious. You need a reminder, you can use Quran as a reminder. But if you want to understand something new from the Quran, you need to be qualified for interpretation. And if you are not qualified for interpretation, you refer to the work of ulama. Say, okay, Allama Tabatabai said this. In Tafsir Majma' al-Bayan, Layth Tabarsi has said this. In Tafsir Tasneem, Ayatollah Jawadi Amuri has said this. Then you are not responsible. Responsibility is on them, and they are the best scholars available. But if you say something without knowing, without being trained, without having the credentials, you are making yourself responsible. Then we have discussion about Etratun Nabi. Inshallah, we will discuss this bi'ithnillah in another session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.